there's nothing like cracking that cellophane and pulling that record out. It just smells great.
Welcome to BODS Mayhem Hour.
Non-stop hardcore energy.
I love the show, guys. You're awesome.
Unlike any other.
With your host, John the Bod, a.k.a. the Bod Father.
Man, this stuff rocks.
Yo, what's up? This is Josh from the band Tetrarch, and you're listening to BODS Mayhem Hour Podcast.
The views and opinions of the guests do not necessarily reflect the views and opinions of BODS Mayhem Radio Network, its staff, affiliates, or sponsors. Parental discretion is advised. Welcome to BODS Mayhem Radio Network.
Hey everybody, welcome to BODS Mayhem Hour. I am your host, John the Bod, a.k.a. the Bod Father, and as always, I'm bringing you guys and gals awesome interviews. Today, it's an honor and a very huge privilege to welcome Josh Fore. He is the vocals and guitarist of Tetrarch. Tetrarch has released their sophomore album, Unstable, which is out now and is the follow-up to the band's 2017 breakout debut album entitled Freak. And I'm very impressed with this band and how much dedication and resilience that these guys and gals have. So Josh, welcome to the show. And man, I'm very, very excited about this album for you guys.
Well, thank you so much, and thank you for having me. And yeah, we've been very excited with this album and just so happy that it's finally out. It's been a crazy year, as everyone knows. So just to have this thing finally out there has been really cool.
So how you been doing, and how excited are you guys to hopefully get back out on the road soon to tour and play some shows? Because, you guys have to be itching to get out on the road.
Oh, absolutely. That's, playing live is, to me, my favorite part about being in a band. It's something that us and Tetrarch have always, felt super confident in about ourselves. We put a lot of practice and time into our live shows. So to not be able to do that for coming up on almost 2 years by the time we get back out there is pretty insane. We got the Incarceration coming up in September, as well as we're hitting the road with Atreyu and Crown the Empire in fall at the end of the year. So we're just itching to get back out there and especially have all these new songs to play. We can't wait to see kind of what ends up in the set list, and it's just going to be a lot of fun to get back out there.
It's like I said before on the show, it's interviewing all these artists and bands. It's going to be crazy to see down the road the songs that's been written that's not, during this time frame, that's not got out there as of yet, to go back and look to see where your mindset was, if those songs even see the light of day. You know what I mean? Because it's like,
yeah.
Do we want to put them songs out now or just write something new because we're in a different total mind frame? It's going to be interesting.
Right. Yeah, no, for sure. And for us, we kind of got a little lucky in the sense of we toured a lot on Freak from 2017, 2018, and the beginning of 2019, but we had really set that whole year as a time for us to go write and get ready to do the sophomore album, which ended up being Unstable. So we played a few festival dates in 2019, and then we really hunkered down and wrote a lot basically for that whole year until October of 2019 is when we went into the studio down in Denver with our producer Dave Otero, and we spent about 4 months in the studio, and we actually had the final product and the songs as you hear them now completely done, recorded, mixed, mastered, probably in end of January 2020. So it's taken April of this year to finally get that stuff out. So it's been hard keeping the songs quiet. We're strategic in how we put out singles with I'm Not Right, You Never Listen, Negative Noise, to kind of, stay active and build some momentum, while we weren't able to be out there on the road doing what we love. But it is kind of funny, the songs, like I may have written them from a certain perspective, lyrically, but it's interesting. I think that for a lot of people, I think these songs will have a different meaning than maybe I even intended, just from what people have gone through over this last, year with just so much going on in their lives. And I think that that's been a really interesting thing, is to hear kind of some feedback from fans on what songs they're really into, what lyrics are hitting home with them. And it's cool to see that, how it's kind of transformed from maybe my original music.
Yeah, and I think that's the most beautifulest thing ever with music, because you can write that song in different, ways that you want it to mean, and then someone else can just interpret it in a total different way, but the point gets across. And that's the beautiful thing about music, man.
I agree with that 100%. That's some of my favorite artists do that very thing. And I don't ever like to be too specific with what I wrote something about, because I want people to be able to relate it to their own life. I want it to mean what they need it to mean for them. Like I said, I might have something specific that certain headspace I was in, but as long as people are out there enjoying it and relating it to their life, that's what matters. And it's actually kind of funny, because that makes me think of you look at Pearl Jam and their song Alive.
Mm-hmm.
Eddie Vedder's talked about, he wrote that song as almost it was a burden to still be alive. He wrote it about his dad, who he never met or and didn't know about until his dad passed. And so whenever he sang that song, it was always a very oh, I'm still alive, I have to live with this. And then he said, as the crowds started coming to shows and singing the songs and singing the lyrics, it became this anthem of I'm still alive, of hope, and I am still here. So it just kind of reminded me of that meanings can change for sure.
Yeah, I love Black by them. Oh my God, if that don't put the hairs on,
so good.
Ooh, man. Great song.
Oh yeah, such a good song. Mm-hmm.
Tetrarch has relentless determination and is established as one of the top up-and-coming bands in heavy metal music right now, man. Josh, how does that feel to have Tetrarch in that same sentence as upcoming metal bands?
That's awesome. I'll be honest, it's something that we have worked very hard at for a very long time. We started this band. I've known our guitarist Diamond since me and her were in the 7th grade together in a little private school in Georgia. And, we have done everything together in terms of being in a band, every single step, from playing our local school talent shows to, being weekend warriors and playing in our hometown at any venue that would let us every single weekend, to DIY touring, sleeping on people's floors, sleeping in Walmart parking lots in 3-degree weather in Montana. We've done every step of being a band, and to see it really taking off and really connecting with a large audience, and to have so many people talking about our band, whether it's in press or just fans, it is absolutely insane. And we like to kind of we like to kind of every now and then sit back and kind of enjoy it. And, it's easy to keep working and want to keep doing more and more, but sometimes it's nice to actually look back and be like, wow, we've come such a long way. And, this is just the beginning. Tetrarch name, we want to be around for a long time, and we want to, be a very worldly band. And we embrace that title of, the next upcoming metal band, or a lot of people throw us into a new metal revival, which we don't consider ourselves necessarily a new metal band. But, if people want to say we're the leaders of that and are coming up, we embrace that. And it's something that we want to, we want to prove these people why they should be, getting into Tetrarch and following along with us.
Yeah, and they should. This is a different flavor of music that's out there. It's still heavy metal and it's still metal, but it's one of those bands where the music fits just right. It's a flavor that I think needs to be in there, and that's just my own personal opinion. And I think it's so damn cool. And when I say this, I truly mean this, is because your guys' hard work has paid off, man. Just for what you're doing right now, because, coming from where you have, catching the attention of major media, including Polestar, you got Billboard, Revolver, Alternative Press, Guitar World, Guitar Player, Premier Guitar, Kerrang, and Metal Hammer.
Yeah.
Diamond is a badass guitar player. I don't care what anybody says. She can fucking jam with anybody.
She sure can, and we've known that forever. I can think back to when we were learning to play guitar together, and specifically metal guitar. I can remember me and her going to our local guitar center every weekend, and we would just plug in and turn up the amps way too loud, and I'm sure the store workers hated it. But, even back then at 13, 14 years old, there would be a crowd that start to gather around, especially watch Diamond playing and like, you know, shredding. And I mean, I think the first album she ever learned start to finish, including solos, was Master of Puppets. Like, you know, she always been just really good and really has always wanted to be the best that she can. And it's really cool to see her getting that kind of attention, you know, that she has. And, you know, it's done nothing but help the band as well. And, you know, it's just really cool. You know, it's funny because I've been there for this whole journey since, you know, meeting her when we were 12 years old. And it's pretty nuts.
I've always said metal music and music in general is like a painting that you're just adding colors and adding different things to it. And that's cool. That's the way I've always said it. So, yeah. So writing the new album Unstable, Josh, did it challenge you as a band bringing the album to life after recording 2017's debut album? I mean, was there like a little hangover or anything, or was you guys just dead on the pavement hammering out new stuff after that?
You know, I would say, like, to answer that question, I have to go a little farther back. You know, when we started out, we were very much almost like a thrash band. You know, we just wanted to like rewrite Kill 'Em All and Ride the Lightning. Like that's what we wanted to do. And everything was fast. And, you know, we might throw in some like, we started screaming and doing some like more metalcore stuff in the, you know, late 2000s, you know, like 2012, 13, that time. But when we moved from Atlanta to Los Angeles, it was right at the time we were starting to write Freak. And, you know, we were kind of feeling kind of in a box at that point in the kind of songs that we were writing. And, you know, we just felt like it was time to incorporate some other influences and elements to the band that we had never done before. And it started with our song Spit from Freak. I remember Diamond sent me a demo one day. I was out walking somewhere, and she's like, hey, I don't know if we can use this. It's a really drop tune and very different than what we've done, but here, check it out. I remember hearing it and just thinking, wow, this is really cool. I was like, Diamond, keep working on this. You know, let's just see where this goes. There's no reason this can't be us. And it ended up being our song Spit. And that kind of opened the door for us. So I feel like Freak as an album was very much an experimental thing for us. Like it ended up coming out as like a cohesive album, but it was the first time we really brought like weird guitar sounds, and I tried different vocal styles from different types of screams and clean singing to, you know, weird vocal parts. And it was just very experimental, and we saw the reaction that it was getting, and, you know, we enjoyed the songs. We loved that sound. So when it came time to do Unstable, I think it was just a natural progression from Freak, for us to basically say, you know, what are our favorite parts of Freak? What were the coolest parts? Let's take those and make a whole album of that, you know, kind of just take it to another level and really bring in, you know, make that Tetrarch sound even more cohesive. And I feel like we were able to accomplish that with Unstable. So it was, you know, it was stressful writing, but it was fun to write this album as well.
Do you like seeing this band going outside that box, though? Do you like pushing that envelope to say, hey, let's add, you know, something else that maybe nobody wouldn't even think that you guys would add to the sound?
Yeah, absolutely. You know, we do what we think is right for the song. You know, if we feel like a song is going to call for me to scream the whole thing and to be super heavy and have blast beats and shredding solos, you know, we're going to do that if it keeps the song. And then if, you know, there might, on the flip side of that, there might be a song like the title track Unstable that's very out there and different for us. There's not a solo. There's, you know, just weird, creepy guitar sounds going on and electronics in the background, and, you know, all of that. It's cool to try and bring different elements, and I think that we did. I think we did shock some people with Unstable, just in the kind of different songs and types that we have done. But I love the album, and I love that so far it seems like there's a little something for everybody, from, you know, the heaviest of heavy metal fans to people that might have been scared of metal before, that, you know, they hear a song like You Never Listen, they say, you know, metal's not so scary, but I can sing along to that. Mm-hmm. And maybe that opens the door, and they can get into Tetrarch, and they can start getting into heavier music that they might not have before. So we really like being able to walk that kind of middle line, you know, and kind of draw fans and people in from just all walks of life, and lovers of all different genres.
Yeah, come on in, brothers and sisters. We'll welcome all of you. We don't care. Come on in.
We don't care. We love every single person who's a music fan, and we want them as a fan.
Exactly. There you go, brother. As a band, were you guys a little nervous at all releasing this album right now since the pandemic and bands can't really tour other than do some live streaming stuff? Were you guys just a little bit nervous?
Yeah. We were. Again, it was the universe just kind of, I don't know, lined up or whatever. But when we had, once the album was done, we decided that we initially were going to release it independently. And the first song we chose for that was I'm Not Right. And so we actually shot the music video for I'm Not Right, like March 7th, I think 4 days before LA and the rest of the US basically closed down. So we were able to do that and have a lot of like promo materials and videos done that we were able to kind of just sit on and wait. And, we kind of just, it was scary, but, we just kind of tried to be strategic and be like, okay, when's the right time to put a song out? And luckily I'm Not Right really took off for us and did a lot for us, was able to, it started out getting a lot of attention on kind of those metal, on those metal outlets from, Sirius XM Liquid Metal was a very big, they pushed that song really hard. And, we're getting a lot of metal fans liking it. And then it was crazy seeing that song start to cross over. As I was talking about earlier, like people that weren't even really into heavier genres and heavier metal were getting into the song. They're like, this is really cool. So we ended up being able to kind of have that song cross over even into like the active rock world and beyond. And I think because of I'm Not Right being able to carry us for about 7 or 8 months, which is a long time for a song, it helped kind of ease our minds with it. And it's like, okay, this song's done well. We're starting to see kind of where there could be a light at the end of the tunnel here, and it kind of let us plan out how we wanted to release the full album from there. And we ended up joining forces with Napalm Records after I'm Not Right was out, and it was just like the right partner for us. And so we had an even bigger team to help kind of push us forward and help guide us. And, I don't think we ever got too scared. I think we were very positive as a band. We like to think that, there's going to be setbacks and steps backwards, but as long as you're moving, 10 steps forward for every step back, then you're eventually going to get towards your goal. So we just try to stay positive,
Any tracks standing out more to you than any right now on the album? I know it must change every time you listen to it or you talk about it, and I know, Josh, these are your babies. But
yeah.
Are there any that stand up for you possibly?
Yeah, I mean, I think I'm Not Right is like hands down everybody's favorite within the band, just in terms of it kind of incorporates everything we like to do as a band. Besides solos, like we wish we could have gotten the solo in that song, but I mean, it has heavy vocals, catchy vocals, big riffs, things like that. So I'm Not Right is very special for all of us, but I really like Push Down is a song that I really like off the album. It's kind of like, the rest of the album can be kind of like not sad, but like there's more like, it's more about like negative energy and negative thoughts and things like that. And, or aggression and angst, inwardly and outwardly at others. But Push Down was kind of that song, kind of like our song Freak, where it's just that inclusive, come with us, be yourself, be crazy, be weird. And it has a good message, and it's just a song that I think it's a cool, fun song. It's like less than 3 minutes. I think it might be like 2 minutes and 55 seconds or something like that. But we packed a lot into that song. So that one kind of stands out for me for sure. And You Never Listen was like definitely kind of like my baby on that album, of just like a song I was really obsessed with from the time we started even making the first demo to hearing it in completion and seeing the video for it and everything. So those would probably be my 3.
Was there a song that you guys were working on that totally ended up sounding different than it was intended to, that was brought to the table?
Yeah, I definitely. I think you can look at a song like Take a Look Inside, and it started a certain way, and we were just going to do like a normal structure, and maybe do a solo section, go back into another verse and a chorus and all this stuff. And when we're writing it, we're like, let's do something different, and let's just end this song with some big nasty sounding, just like breakdown, and just make your face want to turn while you listen to it. And it was cool to hear the ending of that song and how it came together, because it's like a 180-degree turn from the rest of the song. It just hits you out of nowhere. So that was really cool. I think, what other songs? I would say that's the main one. All the songs kind of get a different feel once the vocals start coming on them.
Mm-hmm.
You might have ones that are your favorite before vocals, and then maybe you don't like them as much with vocals, or you might like them more than what you did. Or a song like Trust Me, where there wasn't a lot going on. We just had a simple chord progression, and, I was working on it. And as soon as we got some electronics for the song that gave it like a really creepy, eerie vibe, that really changed that song for me. It instantly inspired me for like vocals and all of that. So it's a fun process. You just never know where you're going to end up when you start making a demo and seeing it all the way through to the end. I think I'm Not Right went through like 6 or 7 arrangement changes before we ended up with what people now know as the song. And I listened back to what we thought was going to be the final thing, and I'm like, man, I'm so glad it's how it is now.
Yeah.
It's way better. So that's always fun.
I like asking that question, and the reason is because I don't think people realize how much work goes into these songs on making them and creating them and seeing them come to life, and how many changes you have to make in it. And I love asking that, because you get the whole birth of the song, the breakdown of the song, childhood, the adulthood, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's all there.
Yeah, no, for sure. It's like, it's funny because I'm Not Right was actually the very first demo that we ever started back in like Thanksgiving of 2018, maybe.
Wow.
I want to say, yeah, it was like just a demo that we started, and the song started as a joke. Like, I wish I could find the video of where I just started, just being silly and doing something. It just started as a joke, and then ended up putting like a little demo of the instrumental down, and we kind of pushed that song to the side. We started, and then we wrote the rest of the album, and we always knew that we had that demo, and it was cool and all. But I remember there was a time at the studio we were looking at all the demos we had, and some were like, is this song still strong? This is before the vocals or anything. We had all these other ones, like from Stitch Me Up to Unstable to Negative Noise, and we're like, is this song worth pursuing?
Mm-hmm.
And there was a time where it might not have ever made the album, but we were like, there's something about it that we like, So we kind of just pushed through, and we did all the arrangement changes, and the vocals came on, and we did all the layers, and as it came together, it was like, oh my gosh, this is our favorite song. So you just never know. It can be a song. There might be songs you love that don't even end up making the album when it's all said and done. And vice versa. There's something you just hate, but like for some reason when it's all together with all the parts and vocals, it's like.
So is there any songs that didn't make this album that we can see down the line on an EP or full length or a one-off maybe?
There's definitely songs that didn't make it. We even got one of the songs as far as like it was completely done and supposed to be on the album, but we were struggling to find a spot for it when we were making the order and everything. And, we were just like, and we were going to have an 11-song album. And we just were like, you know what? The song's not really doing it for us. Maybe we can use some of these riffs and rewrite it and do something else later on. But as soon as we cut that one out and made it 10 songs, it was like a breath of fresh air. It was like, okay, now they all sound like a cohesive album. We were able to kind of put the order together, and there's definitely so much that gets left on the cutting board, from riffs to vocals and everything. So it's nice to have for like the next album. You might have a kicking off point, or you might be like, writing a brand new song and be like, remember that riff from that song that never made it?
Mm-hmm.
That would fit perfectly over here. And it just ends up as a whole different thing. So
yeah.
it's nice with computers because, you know, you can just save all that stuff and be able to go back and listen. And sometimes you go back and like, man, this demo was really, really bad. I don't know why I was ever even trying to make this a thing. But you have to go through some of that bad stuff to get to what, you know, the final product.
Just hope your computer and your hard drives don't crash. Oh my God.
Exactly. And you know what? If it does, then, you know, maybe those riffs just weren't meant to be.
Exactly.
If they were that good, I'd remember them.
Exactly. There you go. So this album was produced by yourselves and Dave Otero. Let's talk about that. He was he worked with Cattle Decapitation, Allegiant, and Chemist. How was working with him on this?
It's amazing. I mean, we've known Dave for a long time. One of our old EPs, The Will to Fight, back in 2011, he actually mixed for us. So when it became time to do Freak, you know, we were like, hey, why don't we go to that guy that mixed us that time? And so we went to Colorado and we actually did Freak with Dave. And we really liked the environment. It was a very comfortable recording environment. And, you know, he has no ego. He's very much just like, he's really good at his job. He's really good at mixing. He's really good at producing. And we just vibe really well together. So it was a no-brainer for us to go back for Unstable. And especially being there the second time, you know, you're more comfortable with each other in that studio environment, so you can be even more honest with each other. Or you know how, you know, I know how he likes to work, and he knows how we like to work. So it was a no-brainer for us. We love Dave. We drive him absolutely crazy, especially me and Diamond. You know, we'll have him work on something for like 2 hours, and then like, you know what? Scratch that. Let's go back to how we had it. You know, like we can drive him a little nuts, but at the end of the day, we get the results that we want, and you know, he's definitely a big part of that Tetrarch sound and what people hear. Hands down, think he is the best metal mixer out there. I don't think there's anyone that can make a mix of slamming as Dave. So I give him big props on that.
So working with him for a second time, and I know there's the comfortability thing, but did he get something out of you guys, Josh, that maybe somebody else might not have gotten? I mean, did he put that effort into you to get every inch of you guys in this album?
Yeah, absolutely. He's like us and wants to do what's best for the song, and I think we're a good balance for each other because, you know, Dave is usually known as the death metal guy. He does the extreme metal, but he also has a really good ear for melody and harmonies and all of that. So, you know, for us, he's really good about kind of, if a part needs to be heavy, he's able to kind of help us turn it into the heaviest it could possibly be, you know, something that we might not even think about doing. But he's also really good with harmonies and good with, you know, helping me with, especially vocal harmonies and getting some of those haunting, kind of sounds. You know, he put a lot into this album, and he was very patient with us. I mean, like 4 months in the studio is a long time. People don't really do that anymore. You know, they might go for a week or two and knock it out, but, you know, we didn't want to leave any stone unturned, and we just really put a lot into this. So we're thankful for him and for him being patient. You know, I think we left and came back like 2-3 times, and, you know, he was always there, ready to work, and we're just super happy with the finished product.
What do you hope everyone takes away, or message you hope they hear while listening to any of Tetrarch's music in general, Josh? What do you hope they get from it when they start listening to it?
Man, that's a tough question. I just hope that they can in some way relate to the music. You know, I think that's the most important thing. I hope that they can hear the lyrics and they can find something that relates to their own lives and that, you know, can inspire them or give them hope, or, you know, or if somebody just wants to be pissed off and angry and just needs to listen to something heavy, you know, we want that in there as well. So we just want people to be able to enjoy the songs and just feel something when they hear them. And yeah, I don't know. That's a tough question.
I know you had a lot of music growing up, and I know you still have it today, but was there an album that you just couldn't put down? You'd go a couple weeks, you go right back to it, and it really gave you inspiration or just allowed you to escape, or just a song maybe from an album that did that for you? For me, still, it's going to be, not going to expect this, I don't think, but for me, it was American Idiot by Green Day. Really?
that album, start to finish, it's still my go-to road trip album. Whenever I'm on tour, like at least once or twice a week, I'll listen to that album start to finish. And for me, that was at a time that I was really starting to really want to be in a band and really do this. And, you know, I would watch, you know, I went and saw that tour in person 2 or 3 times, I think. And watching Billy Joe as a frontman and as a frontman playing guitar and singing, like, really kind of inspired me to want to be an entertainer, not just a guitar player, not just a singer, but I want to put on a show and entertain people. So I kind of just think back to that album as like, it was just kind of a thing that made me really want to do this, you know, along with obviously like Metallica is my tie with Green Day for like my favorite band ever. But yeah, American Idiot is definitely the album that I go back to constantly. I think it was just like a perfect album.
Folks, you want to get out and pick up Tetrarch's sophomore album, Unstable. It's out right now. You want to pick that up and give this band a fair shot and listen to it. You won't be disappointed. Trust me, you will not be disappointed. So, Josh, how can folks stay in touch with you guys, buy this album, merchandise, tour dates, or just to say hello? How can they do that, sir?
Yeah, so, I mean, if you want to pick up the album, obviously, tetrarchmusic.com. We can grab it from Napalm's official store. We're on all the social medias, you know, Instagram, Tetrarch Music, Twitter, Tetrarch, Facebook, Tetrarch Music, I believe, YouTube, everywhere. Anywhere you can think, type in Tetrarch and you should find us, you know. We're very active on there. So we like to keep our fans up to date with what we're doing and what we're up to. And that's just the best place, you know. If you want to keep up with Tetrarch, just follow us on our socials and trust me, you'll be in the loop of everything we do.
And before I let you go, good sir, would you care to do a promo for my show?
Of course. Yo, what's up? This is Josh from the band Tetrarch, and you're listening to BODS Mayhem Hour Podcast.
Everybody stick around. We got some great stuff coming up, and you only hear these interviews right here on BODS Mayhem Hour Podcast. And you want to get out and check out our Facebook page. It has our podcast link, YouTube link, and you definitely want to subscribe to our YouTube link because we got a lot of stuff coming down the pipe that's going to be given away. And a lot of great interviews. And plus, we're going to be doing some more live shows. I think that's going to be really cool for all you cats out there to come and listen to us. And also, please, give Tetrarch a fair shot. You trust me, you will like this band. I've said that about a lot of bands on here, but trust me, you will. So, Josh, I wish you guys nothing but the best of luck from here on out, man, and just keep putting the pedal to the metal, brother.
We will, man. Thank you so much for having me, and thank you for supporting the band.
You're listening to BODS Mayhem Hour.
Follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.